Wow, we haven't done this in a really long time.
We're back. We've returned on our
Physically,
physically. Well, I'm mentally back. What are you talking about? You've been back for like 2 weeks.
I'm not because I don't know. I've had that work event all week and I just feel like not a person.
Hop to it, man. This
Yeah.
is reality.
No, it's not.
Unfortunately, yes, we do live a real life that doesn't involve traipsing
Traipsing
around,
around Europe.
yeah, all the time. But,
Ugh.
you know, we have, as I reminded you in your post-trip sadness, here we have friends and margaritas and dogs.
And dogs, yeah.
So
Yeah, except my dogs have decided to be terribly behaved since I've returned.
they're acting out. They
They are.
said, "Mother, this is what happens when you leave us for this long." But
Yeah. Yeah. So we will not fully recap our trip, but we had a lovely time. It was
we
great.
so much happened. Everyone survived. Everything was great. Uh,
Abigail got sick.
I did get sick.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
other than that, no casualties.
no casualties. But yeah, I think I got strep like a child. So that can still happen to you as an adult if you didn't know.
Abigail was running a fever and was like, "I feel like a kid
Yeah,
having a
like
fever."
this is embarrassing. I'm an adult. You're not supposed to get an adult past the age of like, or like, wait, you're not supposed to get a fever past the age of like 12, I feel like that's illegal. But
I don't
no.
know. I run fever, like I mean, not, like, a lot, but I get, like, sinus infections and stuff a good amount because my allergies are really bad, so I am more familiar with an adult fever than perhaps you are, but as the people know, I'm sick a lot,
That is
so
true. I don't get sick very often, so
yeah.
when I did finally truly get sick last week, knocked me on my ass for a couple days. Got to go to
Yep,
urgent care, get some
Abigail was
antibiotics,
down and out.
but I bounced back, baby.
You did. Turns out antibiotics work, pretty well.
Yeah.
Um, cool. So yeah, we've returned from our travels. We both posted about it on it, or I don't know if you posted about it on Instagram, but I did, and your husband did. So go find those posts if you want to
Oh, yeah.
see what we did.
No, I haven't I'm really bad about posting on the grid, but
Yeah,
I should get better at it at some point. I don't know. Now, it's like when you fall off, it's like, how do I restart without being embarrassing about it? So,
that's why I've been doing the monthly like posts because
I
it's like an
know.
easy way to make sure I'm like posting stuff, but without feeling stressed out.
Yeah, that is a good idea. I thought about, like, doing, like, quarterly. Maybe I should do that. I don't know. We'll see. Whatever.
Yeah, I haven't done like a non well, I did like posts for each place that I went in Europe, but before
Yeah.
that I hadn't done a non like monthly post in like I don't know, probably like almost a year or something.
Yeah, see, the monthly roundups are good. I
Yeah.
check mark for you. But, yeah, lots happened while we were gone. Taylor Swift repurchased her masters, so
Yeah.
congrats to her.
Yeah,
Um
that was crazy.
We'll acknowledge
What else
that.
what else happened? Not
Well,
really anything else we wanna talk about on here.
nope. Let's talk about a book
Yeah, let's talk
instead.
about, some fake world stuff instead
Some
of real
fake
world.
world stuff. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Nothing is going on.
Yeah.
Everything's chill.
We
So,
did not arrive back to the US in shambles.
no. It was very funny being at this Belgian wedding and having people ask us what it's like to be American right now, and us being like, bad.
It's actually terrible.
We were explaining the American healthcare system to somebody, and they were like, "What?" And we were like, "Yeah, it's pretty fucked up, man." Uh,
Yeah,
so yay, perspective.
yeah. I
Yeah,
did I unfortunately did not, fall in love with the European man and stay in Europe, so
oh well, there's always next time.
got close though, I still got one in my DMs, so
Yeah, okay. We'll see how that shit
sorry to
it
you if
becomes.
you're listening, you might be.
Really? All right. Anyway, well, we did read a book that is set in London where we
We
went.
did.
So we read Josie Silver's Slow Burn Summer, revisiting Josie Silver, who we did the gelato book, which was called Winter in New York.
Yeah.
So we did that one not that long ago. Last
Not
week?
that long ago, yeah, but most of the Josie Silver books I have read have been, like, winter or Christmassy in some capacity, so I was excited about a summer one, and this one is also a bookish one,
It
which is fun.
is.
Yeah.
So, should I read the blurb perhaps?
Sure, sure, we decided on this one because, I was already reading it. I had picked it up, I guess, when I was flying home, yeah?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I read it a couple weeks ago, but I texted Abigail and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I think we should probably do this one because I there's a lot that we could talk about here." So,
Yeah. So,
and man, Josie Silver, even in, like, a fairly like, what you might think might be a fairly lighthearted story, she really knows how to rip your guts out.
it was occasionally lighthearted at points.
Well, you look at the cover and you're like, "Cute," and you look at you hear the blurb and you're like, "Cute," and then you read the book and you're like, "What the fuck?"
Ow. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
okay, read us the blurb.
All right. So the little tagline at the top is she's playing the part of romance author, but has she found her own real life love story? We may
Ooh.
we may have previewed this in a summer episode. I
I
don't
think we
remember.
did, I think we
Yeah.
did, but continue anyway.
Yep. Talent agent Charlie Francisco has three problems: a divorce that ended his screenwriting career, a business he never planned to inherit, and a take your breath away romance novel whose author wants nothing to do with its publication. The book is a surefire hit if only his agency can find someone to, quote, play author on its summer book tour. Enter Kate Elliott, a former soap actress who's miraculously right for the part at the very moment her life seems to be going all wrong. Kate is still recovering from her own divorce, and Charlie's job offer is a lifeline. She agrees to the pretense for all interviews, signings, and appearances surrounding the novel's publication. But she can't know who really wrote the remarkable story, the one so beautiful it's made her believe in love again. When Kate and Charlie meet, they're all friction and sparks. The one thing they have in common is they're determined to play their respective parts. But as the summer heats up and the lies get bigger and bigger, can they stick to their lines or will they go off script?
Ooh.
What do you think? Did they go off script? uh,
Uh,
so we've kind of discussed on this podcast that we're like changing the format a little bit. So we're
yeah,
not doing plot by plot beat points anymore. We're just going to start
which is
doing
good because in this book there's many a plot.
many a plot.
Yeah,
And obviously, it's more fun to just talk about broader themes anyway, I think, for us and for you guys at the end of the
yeah.
day. So,
Yeah, so let's talk about I have a scenario for you. If you were in this position, let's say we were actors capable of doing this, right? Like
sure, okay.
that's the thing we have to like pretend to be. But
Yes.
like, is this the sort of thing you would agree to do? Because it seems so stressful.
No, absolutely not. Also, this would like never work.
It would
And
never work.
no, and it also doesn't work in the book. Like,
Right.
so the premise of her being the like ghostwriter sort of is one, they give her a fake name, which is really stupid because her first name is the same, but she goes by like Kate Darrowby for the author purpose or
Mhm.
whatever. Which like she was an actress at one point. She is recently divorced. So like and her ex-husband is an asshole. So wouldn't it's so possible that he would just come out and be like, she's a fraud. She didn't write
Right.
this book. I mean, he was like an absentee husband, but like also, like you're
Right.
running a lot of risk here.
Like literally anybody like she must this would have to be somebody that has, like, the world's smallest social circle and was also, like, homeschooled.
Right. Like this would never work in real life. And
Right.
the
Like, if
way
I
that
saw the face of somebody that I, like, went to high school with or something, I'd be like, "They didn't write that.
yeah, they didn't
That's an
write that book.
actress." Yeah.
Yeah, she was in the theater. Something's fishy here.
Right.
And yeah, she does not get away with it for very long. All of the publishers are batty as hell thinking that this is going to work for one.
Yeah.
Uh the Charlie, who he is her agent, I don't know why he thinks this is going to work. And yeah, um they kind of explain it away by being like, yeah, like, ghostwriters exist or whatever, but or pen names and whatnot, but
Mhm.
the author doesn't want anything to like potentially trace back to him. I'm like, that's way less risky than like hiring an actress to fake play an author.
Well, and it also gets, like, slightly explained away by, later in the book, we, like, get the scene sort of where they, like, discover the book or whatever, and they're, like, making this plan, like, the publishers are, and it sort of gets explained away by being like, "This book is so good, it has to, like, come out, and this is the only way it's gonna happen."
Wait, was that okay? So I we both had the arc, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The You're talking about the scene with Hugh, right?
Yeah.
And it's at the very, very, very end of the book?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That should have been in the book. If it
Yeah.
is, then let us know because we both have arcs, and if there was some, like, major edit, let us know, but I started getting kind of confused because Fiona, the other agent who works for the company, starts referencing the real writer by name, and I was like, "Wait, when did we meet him? Did I miss something? I don't think so."
Does she?
She starts calling him Hugh, and I was like, "Who the fuck is Hugh? When did we
Oh,
meet him?"
I must have missed that.
Oh, well, I did not because I got really confused. So,
Mm,
I don't know. So there was some one again, this premise would never work because
right.
people are people are smarter than maybe you give them credit for sometimes, and book people are nuts.
Also, like, so I'm listening to this book right now called The 3 Lives of Kate K, and it's not similar at all, except in the fact that, the main character writes a book, and she writes it under a pen name because she, doesn't want people to know who she is, but it's like it goes like gangbusters. They wanna turn it into a movie, da 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 da, and they're just secretive about it. Like, why does there have to be a face attached?
I don't know cuz if anything, wouldn't it be better to not have a face attached? I don't know. Plus it's like so unlikely that a book get successful anyway, especially one by like an unknown author. They're
Right,
obviously working really hard to get this book out there and whatnot. Like they could have just had it get published and kind of just like live on its own. It didn't
right.
necessarily need this big publicity tour, but they're committed to it, so like whatever, I guess. You have
Yeah.
you have
Well,
to
and, like,
suspend your belief for this book.
yes. I was feeling really bad for Kate in this book because we learn that she also is sort of an aspiring author in that she used to, like, write stories and doesn't anymore, and she gets this, like, they reveal the cover of the book, and she, like, gets excited seeing her, like, her fake name, but her name, and a
Mhm.
real author photo of her on the book, and it made me kinda sad for her because I was like, I know this book is probably going to end with her getting her own book, like, it was just clearly building up to that, but it made me feel bummed out for her of, like, that what like, a feeling that must be a really wonderful feeling is, like, sort of spoiled for her, you know?
I was thinking about that too, and also, on this podcast we talk a lot about imposter syndrome when it comes up in characters and writers and ourselves and whatnot. And in this case, it literally like is her being an imposter. Like,
Right,
so it did feel really bad, and the the thing about Kate's life right now is that it is in chaos. Like she's missing her daughter who's at university. She's going through, I guess not still going through a divorce, but she's like recently divorced after her rich husband cheated on her and like left her nothing. Like Kate's going through it. And so she's like basically having to pretend that she made this really big accomplishment. And also, I can't believe they would send her to like signings and things where she has to like interact with readers. And
right.
like how awful must that feel with their what she talks about in the book of, they're telling me this book how much it meant to them and I didn't do any of this.
Yeah, but then, I really commend her as a person, as a character, um, for how she sort of not justifies, qualifies that, I guess, like,
Mhm.
by saying, like, "I I love this book so much. I am just really grateful that I get to be involved with bringing it into the world,
Mhm.
and, like, that is a point of pride for me." Um, which I think is really nice of her. I don't think I'm that good of a person, you know? Like, I would just hate to be getting credit for something that I really wish I had done, but I didn't.
No, I don't think I could stomach that as, like, already someone who's not a super good liar,
Right.
especially about bigger things. No, I would 1, I just wouldn't be able to do this as a person, not even, like, morally.
Right.
I just don't have the skill set. But also, like, morally, it would constantly weigh on me that I'm, like, getting credit for something that, like, I did not do. And
Yeah, like, if someone else is getting credit for something I did do, I'm not afraid to be like, "Actually, no, that was me."
yeah.
But if someone gives me credit for something that wasn't me, I am the first person to be like, "No, no, no,
Yes.
no, 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 like, I didn't do this," or like, "I did do it, but I had, all this help from these other people," like,
Right.
I'm the first one to be like, "No, no, 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 don't give me credit that I don't deserve."
Yeah, I'm the same way, and I think, like, being an editor kind of a lot of times you, like, are in the background of a thing's, like, success, but,
Mhm.
and so it is kind of a funny thing where you learn to, like, raise your hand and take credit for some of the success, or, yeah, also be like, "Oh, well, no, I didn't assign that idea, or I didn't come up with that," or, whatever it may be, like, that's a different but, like, Kate truly did nothing about this
Right.
book. All she's doing is being an actress,
Right, and,
and
like, being the book's advocate, essentially, which
right.
is important and powerful, and I'm sure feels really good, but sure doesn't feel as good as if you had written it.
Nope, it does not.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
yeah, let's talk about the actual author just briefly, Hugh, as we
yeah,
kind of
that's I was
referenced.
just about to bring that up.
Wow, one brain
We're a
cell.
well-oiled machine after taking a month off.
So, in the bonus scene that we get at the very end of the book, it's Fiona talking to Hugh and basically being like, "Look, I know you have," and Hugh, I don't remember his last name. It also
I
starts with
don't either.
H.
Yeah.
Um, the actual author is an older guy who writes detective novels, kind of like a John Grisham type, I imagine him.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was picturing.
Yeah. And so he is like suffering from, well, he's grieving the loss of his
Mhm.
wife, and he needs like a super long, or he hasn't like turned in his next book, and he's written this like love story, and Fiona's like, well, if we publish this, I can give you more time on this next detective book or whatever. And he like very 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 reluctantly agrees eventually, but yeah, doesn't want any part of it. And so the way that we still get Hugh's presence in the book is he and Kate eventually do have a correspondence over email, and he's just H, and then she's Kate. Like, obviously he knows who she is. um so
Kate does start to kind of figure out that, um, the author is a man,
mhm.
but that's about as far as she gets.
Yeah, and she doesn't seem, she's not interested in like a gotcha of who is this guy. She's more so just like wanting to ask him questions so she can represent the book more easily.
Yeah.
And they kind of strike up this very nice friendship. But this was kind of a point where, one, I wish there was a little bit more correspondence between the two, but it did give
Mhm.
really good insight into, I really liked the part where they talked about publishing day for an
Yeah.
author and like how really exciting it is, or how it's kind of like anticlimactic, as he kind of puts it. And like they both celebrate it in different ways, where he obviously is not celebrating really much at all, or just like privately, and she is like out in the world and having
Mhm.
champagne and kind of has that
Taking
experience.
photos of the book with a book at
Yeah.
a bookstore or wherever they were, yeah.
So I thought that was, one, a nice little insight in what it's like to actually be an author, with a
Mhm.
published book, and also um it makes it a little bit more understandable why this whole thing is happening, I guess. Why he doesn't really wanna be attached to it, because he's
Yeah.
grieving the loss of his wife, who he actually kind of, like, wrote this book about slash 4, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, it's an immensely, like, personal story to him, um, and I guess it feels too raw, it feels too, he's like, "I wrote this without the intention of anybody, like, ever seeing it." Like, I
Mhm.
just had to, like, get it out of me, basically. Um, which does make me a little bit like, it does seem like in that kind of, like, bonus scene or whatever, he and Fiona have, like, a very close relationship,
Mhm.
but it made me, like, a little mad at her that she kind of made him put this thing out that he wasn't really comfortable with putting out.
Yeah, Fiona as a character to me, I know was supposed to be giving boss lady, but sometimes it just gave villain at
Yeah,
points to both Kate, Charlie, and then maybe not as much for Hugh, but I'm also with you of like, hey, maybe leave him
just felt a little
alone.
icky.
Yeah, maybe don't make him do this if he doesn't want to. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it kind of, like, rode the line between, like, pushing somebody to do something they don't wanna do, and sometimes your friends do know what's good for you maybe more than you do when you're having a hard time, so, like, I think it was, like, somewhere in between because he did end up being very glad that the book came
Mhm.
out, like, by the end, so Fiona was right all along to push him, but yeah, I don't know. I was just like, "Just let this sad old man, like, grieve and, like, let him off the hook for writing his little detective novels."
Yeah, he seems successful enough. I don't like we also don't know enough about the detective novels for there to be kind of this I don't know, like what was the real justification at the end? I don't know. Like I so my like I'm going to come back to Hugh, but
Yeah.
the one thing that I was surprised about by this book is like when the truth about Kate comes out, which like if I remember correctly it's like 60%.
Yeah,
Like
it's pretty early on in the book.
and the way it happens is so fucking stupid of Kate, where I like as so assuming you guys have read the book, but like Kate puts in writing to her daughter that this is going on. And as she's writing that email, like earlier in the book, I was like, you are so dumb. Don't put this
Yeah.
in writing.
I
I
knew
didn't,
as it was happening that this was gonna be how it all fell apart, and it
yeah,
falls apart not because of Kate's daughter, well, not directly because of Kate's daughter, because of Kate's daughter's shithead boyfriend who is, like, sort of a little mini villain throughout this book in that he's trying to get Kate's daughter to move to Australia, right?
yeah, he's
Yeah, to move
Australian.
to Australia, and they've been dating for, like, 2 seconds, and Kate's daughter is very, "But daddy, I love him," about it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Um, and Kate is freaking the fuck out. Like, Kate is under such immense pressure throughout, like, the majority of this book.
Yes.
Uh, like, because she's like, "Oh my god, I cannot let my daughter do this because this is what I did. Like,
Hmm.
I got married too young. I, like, gave up my dreams for a man, and I'll be damned if I let my daughter do it." And so, like, yeah, Kate's daughter is being very, "But daddy, I love him." And the boyfriend sees the email, sells it to the press, and ruins everyone's lives.
Yes. God, I don't even remember his name, but I feel like it was like Flynn or something stupid like
Yeah, it
that.
was something like that. It was something silly.
Um, yeah, so this is where the book then went a little off the rails to me in a very strange way, where suddenly the main conflict became that somebody was harassing Kate by throwing trifle at the front of her sister's shop. So,
Yeah, because everyone now hates Kate because, like, people were like, "Oh, I waited in line for hours to meet the author of this book," and it turns out it wasn't even the author of this book, and Kate's sister had, like, thrown a fit at the grocery store
yeah.
and threw a trifle at somebody, which was pretty funny. I like Kate's
Yeah.
sister.
Kate's sister is great. I did
Yeah.
really, really like the relationship between Kate and her sister, which I felt was very earned throughout the book and very like comfortable and close and very like probably my favorite relationship of the book, and
Yeah.
felt the most
And it felt
detailed.
like a very authentic, like, grown-up sibling relationship where it's
Mhm.
like, we support each other no matter what, but also you're being really fucking annoying right now, kind of,
Yeah,
like, back and forth,
yeah.
which is, I don't have a sister, but I do have a brother, and it does kind of oscillate like that, so
It's not wrong. No, it's
yeah,
not wrong.
yeah,
Yeah, but then that suddenly became the main conflict of the book was that somebody was harassing Liv's, the sister's shop. And Kate, as she's dealing with like the fallout of everyone finding out it's her, Hugh is like keeps telling Kate like I'll go public if you want, and she still doesn't know who he is, and she's like, no, I don't want you to do that, like it's fine, I'll deal with it. But all of her relationships are becoming very strained. Liv has like a semi-medical emergency, but then finds out she's pregnant, which
yeah,
that was a happy moment. But then she like goes on vacation because she and her husband, our kids, are very stressed out about everything going on. And while Kate's watching the shop, that's when somebody's throwing trifle at it. And so she goes on like what is Good Morning America, but for London, and basically is like, "This is happening to me. Please stop." And everyone like bands together to get this man to stop throwing trifle at the shop.
yeah, because they were like, "Look, we're mad at you, but it doesn't mean you deserve to be treated this way."
Yes, it was very strange that this became, to me, the main plot point of like the last 30% of the book.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, having finished this book, it's hard to even call it, like, a romance novel, like, it's more like chick lit to me, more like
Mhm.
women's fiction with a romance in it, um, which I don't hate, that doesn't, like, change the book for me in any way. It was just less romancy than a lot of other Josie Silver books
Mm.
that I've read.
I agree, and I think it became a little bit unwieldy for me once the reveal of Kate happened,
Mhm.
where I felt like it got a little bit less focused. But in the fallout, I guess, of them confronting Trifle Man, Hugh does go public, and they do have a very nice moment of Hugh also going on Good Morning America London version to set the record straight and
Mhm.
also be like, "Hey guys, it was me," which was a very funny part of the book. So
Yep.
I did it ended on a very like kind of confusing note to me. But let's also talk about like the romance itself between Charlie and uh Kate.
Yeah, so Charlie and Kate get acquainted initially because Charlie has taken over his dad's, like, publishing job, publishing house, whatever.
No, he's
Um,
an agent. They're an
he's an
acting
a
agent.
that's what it is, that's what it
Yeah.
is, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, agent, that's right, that's right, that's right.
Yes.
Um, uh, that's like, Kate reaches out to Charlie's father knowing like, not knowing that Charlie's father is dead, and her basically being like, "Hey, I gave up on my career, I'm in a crisis, can you maybe give me another chance?" Basically, but way nicer than that.
Yep.
Um, Come to find out, Charlie's dad has passed away, Charlie's in charge now, and this is all happening at the same time that they need to hire this actress to do this book. So that's how they initially get acquainted, and Charlie is sort of just, like, Kate's, like, guardian angel throughout this book,
Yeah.
like, just keeps swooping in to save the day. I I quite liked Charlie, I found him slightly frustrating at times, but I feel like he was a really well-developed character.
Mm, I wanted a little bit more of Charlie. So at one point in the book, they discuss, or somebody says, like, "Oh, you know, he cheated on his wife," and then later on, he's like, "That actually didn't happen. It was kind of a messy thing, or whatever." I thought I wanted more. I think about that and like his screenwriting career that he gave up because,
Mm,
as Fiona points out at the end of the book, it's clear he's not like super happy being an agent. Like he just
right.
isn't very excited about it, which like is fair, is fine. Um, but I did think we got a lot of really good insight into his relationship with Jojo, his dad.
Mhm.
And like this book does a really good job talking about grief, like grief in the way of Hugh, through his correspondence with Kate, grief through Charlie, who is still mourning his dad, who I think like at the beginning of the book had only passed away like 8 months ago or something. So it was
Yeah, it
like,
was recent.
yeah. And then Kate also kind of grieving like her kind of life as it
Mhm.
is. But also grieving, what her life like could have been, where she does say like I regret, getting married at 19 and immediately moving to Germany with my now piece of shit ex-husband. Like
Yeah.
there's kind of a lot of regret in this book in some ways.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
i-
yeah, you're right.
in ways that we don't often see in romance. But I also do agree with you that this didn't feel like a straight romance to me the way A Winter in New York did, or obviously like
Mhm.
One Day in December is super super romance.
Mhm.
But this one did feel more like women's fiction, and at times I could understand it. The romance itself felt a little tenuous to me at points, I think,
Yeah.
and just that maybe I did want more of I think what it was is I felt like there was not like the switch of,
Yes.
oh, we suddenly it just felt like, oh no, they like each other, but like I'm not quite sure why, like when we kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, when we
And
get to the scene in the
it went from very, like, well, it was one of those books which this happens sometimes in these books where
mhm,
it's just like, "Oh, and now we're together."
yeah,
Like, we hooked up and now we're together, which I usually don't mind, but I think because the romance was kind of a B plot in this book it felt very abrupt.
I agree, especially when I think their first kind of romantic meeting is when she's staying in the hotel in London before she makes her TV appearance, and they meet for a drink and like
Mhm.
almost kiss. And I was kind of like, but why are they almost kissing right now? You know?
Yeah, like, we know that they think each other are hot, we get that from their, like, inner monologues and stuff, but we don't really there's not, like, tension, there's not, like, romantic tension between them to me,
Yeah, not
other
even,
than just, like, this is a hot person.
yeah. And it's also, there's not even tension of this is my agent or
Right.
the son of like my former mentor. Like it's all just kind of like, oh, he's a hot guy. But I did really enjoy the scenes where they're in uh Cornwall.
Yeah, in the cottage.
Yes, in the cottage, which
Yeah,
made me want to move to Cornwall. That sounds nice.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
I did really like those scenes as well. It's their first kind of real extended amount of time together alone, I guess.
mhm. And I did also think the parts where we see Charlie like protecting Kate either with her around or not, I thought those were effective. But yeah, it was an interesting kind of change of pace for Josie Silver,
Yeah,
maybe.
I thought so too.
This also kind of reminded me of a Great Big Beautiful Life, in that we're kind of not so much of like H being the same as Margaret in Great Big Beautiful Life, but I think this was actually a more effective way of us having to care about another character who's dealing with their own romantic turmoil. But
Mhm.
it's because Hugh is a kind of a background character. He's not vying for a main character slot the way
Right.
Margaret is in Great Big Beautiful Life. So yeah.
Right, and I think it's a little more effective for him to be mysterious than the way Margaret was written in Great Big Beautiful Life being mysterious, and I think
Mhm.
it's to your point, it's because it's because he's a background character, but I think the idea that we know nothing about him makes
Mhm.
that mystery feel less frustrating than just getting little tidbits of Margaret here and there and wanting more.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm like lukewarm on this, I think.
Yeah, I am too. Like there are moments of it that are really lovely and like very like quintessential Josie Silver cozy. Like you said, the Cornwall parts. That feels like, you know, Josie Silver bread and butter to me. Um it's funny.
It's
The
funny.
characters are quite funny. The scene where Kate is going to her first, like, radio interview and the train breaks down and all of these, like, dudes going to a soccer game, like, bro out and help her out is really funny.
Yes.
Um, and when those guys show up again at the end to, like, help her with the trifle guy, also very funny.
Yes.
Um,
I was happy
so,
to
like,
see them
some
come back.
good, like, medium shenanigan in this book.
Yeah, yeah. I think there I almost wish it had this is I felt like I was reading the first draft of this book in a way. Like I think it could have been a little bit tighter in
Mm.
that like she tells that lie about the meeting her like first love on the train and then it never comes to bite her in the ass even though it kind of should. Uh
Right, like, it sort of comes to bite her in the ass with Charlie because it makes Charlie jealous,
yeah, but then
but, like, not in, like, a r like, in a like, she's e essentially then just like, "Oh, that wasn't true."
and he's like, "Oh, okay." Where that was the you know, like I was thinking about this if this was happening, if we were in this book universe and we
Sure.
found out about this big juicy book gossip that happened or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would probably be mad. I don't know if I'd be like mad at Kate. I would probably just be like, who the fuck thought that was a good idea? But
I
I
would be mad at the publisher,
right.
I think.
Yes, exactly. Like I would be mad at the
It's
publisher
sort of
for
like the drama going on right now, the book of the month drama going on right now,
yes.
um,
Yeah.
with the AI writer. People are mad at that author, but I think they're more mad at book of the month.
I and I think that's valid.
Yeah.
I think we're just gonna have to deal with more and more AI writers as time goes on.
Yeah,
But
like, do I love the fact that this guy used AI to write part of his book? No, but he has every right to do that if that's what he wants to do, and he isn't hiding it. But Book of the Month putting that book out and not really expressly, like, giving some kind of disclaimer is
mhm,
fucking shady.
yeah, I especially for a company like Book of the Month, which I would think is kind of staunchly like no, we're not using AI to help write a book.
And for all Book of the Month's faults, like, I know people have complaints about them, and you and I have certainly expressed complaints about them in the past. One thing that they have been classically very good at is platforming authors that do not often get platformed. Do I
Mhm,
think they could be better with, like, authors of color and, like, queer books and things like that? Certainly. But there are so many authors and books that I found out about only because
mhm,
of Book of the Month. Um, and so that was the part that sort of rubbed me the wrong way, and it's a really similar conflict because it's like, I, to an extent, trust Book of the Month. I
mhm,
trust them to, like, do right by us as
mhm,
subscribers to their platform, and they didn't. And it's the same kind of thing here. Like, if a publisher did this, if, like, who do I read? Like, I read a ton of Penguin books, right? Because Penguin has everything. But,
yep.
like, if Penguin did this, I would be like, "Fuck you guys." Like, come on, you
Yeah.
know?
Like, why did nobody in the room raise their hand and be like, "Hey, what if we didn't actually? This is
Yeah,
maybe like a bad idea."
yeah.
And yeah, it's
Yeah, so that conflict feels very v like, almost identical to how I think I would feel if what happened in this Josie Silver book happened in real life.
yes. The point I was gonna make was that I would be mad about Kate lying about meeting her first love on the train on because that was just a straight up lie.
Right.
Versus it wasn't even
That
like
she didn't
playing
have to tell for the book.
right. Exactly. And that that was the I thought that was gonna be a bigger part of the book where it kind of like became a thing where they were like, "Oh, we're looking for Kate's first love from the train. How's it going? Are
Yeah,
you?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm meeting him for a drink." It was kind of like it like I felt like there were a couple things in this book that like fizzled out where it was like it was becoming a snowball and then it just like collapsed.
sure,
And not that I like a miscommunication plot line all that much. So like I'm not like that mad this one got dropped because it was stupid. But there that would as if I was in this universe, I think that's the one I would have been mad about. And maybe she never like fesses up to that. Maybe she like fesses it up to Charlie. But
yeah.
there is like I don't know. And I it was funny seeing them all rally around her at the end where they were like, "Well, you're a book person too. You're one of us." And I was like, "I don't know, man. I don't know if I would be that forgiving immediately." Like, no, I don't want this woman's sister's shop to be harassed because she
Right.
didn't do anything, but also, I don't know. This is
Yeah, I don't know if it would instantly put somebody back in my good graces. Like, I would certainly
no.
have sympathy and empathy, but I would just sort of be like I sorta would be like, "Play stupid games, win
You would
stupid prizes,"
stupid
you know?
prices.
You know? Like
I don't know, whatever, I guess. I
yeah.
don't know. But yeah, I think I it was an enjoyable read. I don't feel like I wasted my time. It's also not that long. It's like under 400 pages. So,
Yeah, and I think you and I are always gonna pick up a Josie Silver book anyway,
mhm,
um, and it's certainly it did we read a lot of books about books, and
mhm.
this was a unique one.
Yeah, I actually did really like, you know, controversy aside or the reality of that this would never work and these publishers are batty. I did think that this was a nice look at what it is like to be an author, what's it like to work in publishing a little bit. Again, suspending the belief of like this would never happen. But like,
I
yeah.
think the social media aspect of it is really well executed too, of the, like, kind of online hate that she gets. It's not
Mhm.
too overdone, like, that could have easily spiraled into, like, an annoying plot point of her, like, checking the comments and whatever, right? But,
Yeah.
like, they interweave sort of her having to be, like, active on Instagram and things like that in a way that feels realistic and, not, like, cyberbullying to an
Yeah.
extent of, like, that plot taking over the other. But yeah, I'm kind of with you on it. I'm kind of lukewarm. I knew it would be an interesting one for us to talk about because I wasn't really sure like, I enjoyed it,
Mhm.
asterisk, and I was interested to see if you would feel similarly, and it seems like you do.
Yeah, no, I think Josie Silver's writing is very lovely. I think she is, to your point at the beginning, good at a gut punch in
Mhm.
also, mild to lower medium shenanigans. Nothing that crazy, but some
Yeah, she's
shenanigans.
funny. She's a
She's
funny
funny.
writer,
Yeah, she
and
is
she
funny.
writes funny characters, which I
Yes.
appreciate.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't waste my time, but this is not going to be my top like read of the summer. By
No,
and that's fine. Like not everything's a banger is one of my favorite things to say. Not everything can be a banger.
totally, and this was a
It's fine.
nice time. It was a nice book. I read
Yeah.
it. I liked it. Moving on.
Again, just wish it like tightened up a little bit, but whatever. I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I did end up purchasing a hard copy of it because I think the cover is really pretty.
It is really the cover is them like at the signing, which is really cute.
Yeah,
And or at a
I like
signing.
the colors on it.
It is really cute.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm never gonna I did like Winter in New York more than this one. I thought that one was a lot
I
more
agree.
developed. I would be curious to go back and listen to our episode about it, but I remember Winter in New York feeling like it was more developed character-wise on both ends and also the gelato mystery at the center
Oh, yeah,
being
the gelato mystery.
so but yeah so now this was uh obviously we know the new Ashley Poston is out.
Yes.
We were not going to be able
Oh,
to
yeah,
finish it
we're
in 2
we're
days.
rearranging some things, yeah.
Yes. So This is not gonna be our banger of the summer, but we're about to start hitting our bangers of the summer because
Yeah.
our
Yeah, Ashley Poston's new book, Sounds Like Love, came out on Tuesday. And the original intention is that we were gonna do that book for this episode. But Abigail was traveling for work. I had a 3-day work event that led to me working like 3 13-hour work days. Thumbs up. We both just thumbs up at the same time. That was weird. Um, Yesterday was a 15-hour work day. So like give me them comp days.
Yep.
Um, so we knew we weren't gonna have enough time. I have already read the book, but I read it like a month ago. So I'm definitely gonna need to, and I read it the way that I read every Ashley Poston the first time through, which is to say voraciously,
Mhm.
without much regard for like some of the finer plot points. Um, I did very much enjoy it. I think this one's gonna perhaps win you back after the last one, Abigail. I think you're gonna like it more than the last one.
I hope so.
Yeah. I could be wrong, but I think you'll like it more than the last one.
I am
It's no
excited.
Dead Romantics, none of them are, but,
No, it's
yeah.
okay.
Um, and then after that, we've got Sarah Adler's book, Finders Keepers, which comes out next week. Or no, we're switching them. We're
Yes.
doing Sarah first and then Ashley. There we go.
Yes. We're doing obviously, we gotta do our gal Sarah, our close personal friend, our actual
Yeah.
friend, Sarah.
Yeah,
She gets to go
we
first.
yeah, this is not close personal friend in the way that we normally use it. This is, like, actual friend Sarah Adler.
Yeah, so
Um,
she's gonna go first. Ashley
yeah.
posted if you would like to be our friend, we would
Then
not
you and
say
Sarah
no
Adler can fight for who can go
for who
first,
goes
so
next.
yeah,
But yeah, so next we will be doing Finders Keepers by Sarah Adler, friend of the pod, friend and we have never met
friend
her
in
in
re
real life, but
friend in what feels like real life, friend over
yeah,
Zoom and over
friend over Zoom.
Instagram and
Yeah,
over text message.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, so we're gonna talk about Sarah's book first, and then Ashley Poston's book will be the next one after that. So both new
yes.
books just in reverse pub order. Um, but, we love our summer girlies, and we're gonna make sure they all get their flowers.
I know it's like a repeat of April, but for June, where it was
I
we had
know.
Abby and Emily, but this time it was uh Ashley to Sarah, but I'm yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So thank you all for understanding. It will come. We swear.
Yes.
We were not gonna
Yes.
miss an Ashley Poston, but
We won't.
we had to do a funky turnaround. So
Yeah,
um
uh, we had to give ourselves some allowances because we've both had a crazy, like, month. So,
yeah. Wow, which we'd say constantly. I unfortunately we just lead crazy lives, I think, Katie.
that's true. We just lead busy lives.
We lead busy lives.
And it does always seem like you're, like, on your like, so Abigail goes to Houston for work once a month, and it does seem like that your trips end up falling on, like, weeks where we have to, like, record at the like, it always ends up being some sort of crazy week where we have to, like, finagle some recording times in a weird way.
Despite my best efforts, I
I
don't know,
know, it
something
just
just
ends up
happened.
that way.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we're back. We're not well rested, but we're back.
I'm
And
well rested today.
oh, okay, well, I'm
I slept until 9. It was
I know
awesome.
because I texted you this morning and I was like, she's asleep.
It
So
was it was awesome. I slept through fucking personal training yesterday.
I know that too because I saw
That
the
was crazy.
text. That was crazy. I just saw,
That hasn't happened to me in a long time. That's
yeah.
how tired I was, like, because
You,
my alarm now is my Alexa, which means it goes off, like, 3 times, and
yeah.
I have no memory of it going off.
Well, you earned sleeping through it then. That is, if you managed to do it, then you earned it, is how I think of
If I
it.
managed to do it, then I definitely needed it.
Yeah.
Like, my body was like yeah, like, I had this work event this week that went until, like, 9:30 PM every night, and it was in, like, way North Austin, so I had to drive, like, 45 minutes home, and it was just like oh, it was just a struggle, man. It was great, it went really well, glad it's over,
You did
glad
it.
I'm off today,
Yeah.
but, yeah. So, yeah, have you picked up any other books, or do you have something you're gonna pick up?
I have picked up another book. First, I read the new Jennifer E. Smith,
Oh,
Fun for the Whole
yeah.
Family. It was so good.
Yeah?
I loved it. It's not a romance,
Sure.
but she's not a romance girly. necessarily. If you
Is it
guys
similar to the other one we read in that there is a sort of romance
Yes.
subplot? Got it.
Yes, it is similar to that. Jennifer E. Smith, for the listener, wrote The Unsinkable Greta James, which, yeah, book of the month to, plug when they introduce authors that we turn out to really like.
Yeah,
Um, and I want to reread Greta James now because this one is really good. She does a really good job of balancing multiple timelines, multiple characters' perspectives because it's
mhm,
about four siblings and they're on like a trip together,
yeah,
and it also like harkens back to their childhood together. It's really good. I loved it and actually like kind of sped through it because I loved it
nice.
so much. So
Yeah, I was gonna say it seems like you read it really fast.
yeah, no,
I have it. Maybe I should pick it up next.
it was really really good. So I highly recommend. Definitely a heavy read. It's
Mm,
yeah, it's a Jennifer E. Smith flavored read in that there's really good discussion of like complicated family dynamics and grief and things like that. But yeah, it was so good. I loved it. But right now I am reading Maisie Eddings' Well Actually, which I got through NetGalley, so I have the arc.
nice.
I think it's out at this point. I'm not positive. I didn't check. But it's about basically it's like about chicken shop date girl, but about this gal who runs a podcast called Sausage Talk,
Mhm.
and she posts a TikTok like flaming this guy for being a bad hookup in college, but he's like TikTok famous. And then I'm at the part, this is in like the very beginning, I'm in like chapter 3 where they're going to bring him onto the show for her to
Oh my
interview
god.
him. It's really funny so far. This is my first Maisie Eddings, and
I'm a Maisie Eddings fan,
okay, yeah. Katie first hated Lizzie Blake's Best Mistake, but
but everything else I've read by Maisie Eddings, like, I read the whole rest of that series that Lizzie Blake is in, and I really, 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 really liked it.
yeah.
I like everything else she's put out. I just honestly, I didn't even have a beef with, like, Lizzie Blake's Best Mistake, the book. I just really didn't like the main character, the title character, and I just could not fuck with it. Like, she was like a caricature of an ADHD person in a way that was so infuriating. So I just couldn't do it. Like, and I don't even think that's Maisie Eddings' fault. I think it's the character.
The person
Yeah.
in the book.
Um,
Yeah.
but
So
I am a big Maisie Eddings fan. So maybe I'll man, I don't know what I'm gonna pick up next then. You got me with choices.
depends on I guess what flavor you want of do you want something kind of snarky and funny or do you want to wallow in some deep feelings about family and the meaning of success in life.
Not that,
Yeah.
because that seems too similar to what I've actually been doing.
It is very good. Again, I loved it, and it also takes place in Montana, so that's kind of fun.
Oh,
Yeah, uh,
interesting.
yeah, during the winter. So if you want to like cool off, I guess, or pretend.
Right.
But are you reading anything right now?
I'm listening to The 3 Lives of Kate Kay,
Oh, right.
by Kate Fagan, which is not a romance, not really a women's fic, not it's just like a general lit fic, I guess. But the audiobook is quite good because there are like a lot of perspectives in the book. Like it's one of those books that like has even like tiny, tiny chapters from even like side characters, which has gotten slightly confusing for me, but is actually, I think, almost better in audiobook form because each person is read by a different narrator.
Hmm.
So it almost makes them easier to remember which person is which.
Okay.
So I started that one in Europe. I've been going through it just like hella slowly. It's not like gripping, but it's interesting. I put it on in the car kind of thing.
Hmm.
That's the only thing I'm actively reading right now. I have a few other things that I'm poking at, like some rereads and stuff. But let me tell you, I read some books when I was in Europe and I hit all all the faves. I read the Josie Silver book. I
Hmm.
read a new Olivia Dade, which was great. I read The, Alexandra Kiley book, Scott and Bothered, that is a sequel to
Ah,
Kit Kit,
yes.
which I read last year, which I really liked. I read a thriller called Sunburned, which was very good. I read a book I did not like called The Summer You Were Mine by Jill Francis. Sorry to Jill. I read the new Carly Fortune. I read a Mary McFarlane. I read the new Alyssa Sussman. I read the new Annabelle Monaghan. I read Ashley. Um, I think I read all of those in Europe.
I did
Oh,
not.
and I read Primetime Romance by Kate Robb. That's and the last in the Rebel Blue Ranch series by Lila Sage.
Well, shit, man. I looked back and I did not pick up a book the entire time I was with you in Europe. I didn't even read on the
I didn't
plane.
with you. I
Yeah.
didn't with you, but I was alone the rest of the time, and so much of my trip was, like, traveling
Mhm.
or, like, "Oh, let me go have a drink or a cup of coffee or something," and I was reading every time I would sit down to have, like, a meal or a drink or something.
Sure.
So, I had a lot of built-in reading time because I was alone. I normally don't read this, like, voraciously on vacation. I was just alone for 2 weeks.
Well, yes. That'll do it. Yeah. So,
Yeah, and at one point, I had, like, a 12-hour layover, so I read some books.
yeah. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. So,
And then I stayed awake the entire flight home from Helsinki, which was 11 some odd hours plus a couple hours,
and
uh,
DFW.
bonus. Yes. I think I read 3 books just on that flight.
Well, I was gonna say, last count I heard was not up to like 9. So yeah, this was an update for me as well. Well, glad you got to speed run those reviews.
Yeah,
Only one dud?
and
Dud?
they
No,
yeah,
not
only one dud, and I wouldn't even call it a dud. It was just, like, between, like, it was right after Carly Fortune, which, like, come on.
yeah, it's true.
There was no winning there.
That's fair. So,
Um, Similarly to Ashley, this Carly Fortune might bring you back around if you decide to pick it up,
I would like to
because
pick it
it's the
up.
brother from the first
Yeah.
book.
Yeah, I would like to pick it up. I
Yeah,
don't know if I was ever fully out on Carly. She's just
right.
not somebody I immediately pick up the
Yeah,
way that you do.
right.
So, I'm not no.
Yeah.
I feel so my new thought that I've been noodling around either for a column that I want to write or just my general thought right now is, wait, what if I don't want to be stupid? Because I feel like everything in life around us is just rooting for me to be a complete dumbass.
Mm.
Uh AI, some of the TV that I watch, which I will keep watching. Trust that I will keep watching The Valley.
I mean, I think like anything, it's about balance, right? Like,
Right. But I also think about like every time I read an article where it's like college kids are getting really stupid and they can't even formulate a sentence. Or I read that New York Times article last week or maybe earlier this week about Chad GPT like initiating psychosis in people. And
yeah.
so that was scary. That was some scary shit. So anyway, I am trying to do lots of things that work my brain more, which includes reading and does not mean any reading any specific genre, but also just
Mhm.
doing more of it and trying to train my brain back into having an attention span that lasts longer than 3 minutes. So,
Yeah, so I learned something really interesting when I was putting together my talk for this, conference thing that I was helping host. And my talk was about, like, podcasts in the classroom.
mhm,
And I mostly work with college students, as we know, but I got curious about, how podcasts were being used in classrooms, like, K through 12, and I came across this really interesting case study from 2023 about an elementary school classroom. And I don't remember what age elementary school, but it was older elementary school, like kind of middle grade. I would, if I had to guess, I would say fifth or sixth grade.
mhm,
Um, and the kids were using podcasts in class as like lecture material, like substitute for like lessons.
mhm.
But they were also collaborating on creating podcasts about their school and their classes and stuff, and, it demonstrated, increased attention span.
Okay,
Mhm,
see? Yeah. I was thinking about this also, like, when we were in Europe and, like, we went to the Tate, and I was just like, "Man, I, like, miss feeling like a cultured, intelligent person," which,
mhm,
like, I know I still am, I guess, but, like, I miss being in school, which, like, I always miss being in school, but you know what I mean, of just like, "Oh, no, I have to, like, take charge of making sure my brain doesn't atrophy,"
I was
basically.
thinking about that too of like, I used to go to a lot of like musicals at Bass Concert Hall or like, I had an ex-boyfriend who was really into plays, which I am not that into plays, but he would just like find ones he was interested in and buy tickets and like, half the time I maybe wasn't that into them, but I was still like going and consuming this art. I've been consciously trying to listen to more music lately for the same
Mm,
reason, just because I got kind of when I started working in podcasting, that became more of my default than music. So I'm sure you've noticed, like, even I've been sending you more music and stuff
mhm.
lately than I normally do. I've been trying to make that conscious effort. Um, but yeah, and like even similarly, like trying to go see more movies and things like that. Do you want to go see Materialist this weekend?
Yeah,
Cool. Um, and yeah, like, also we're going to a drag show this weekend, that's culture.
that is culture, and I'm very excited about it,
Yeah,
and yeah. Now, I don't know, again, it's just a thought I'm rumbling around in my head also about, like, "Let me get off my phone. Let me,
yeah,
like, just get off Reddit, please. I'm
yeah.
begging you. Abigail,
I've
please."
been very good about not I think Europe made me very good about not being on my phone as much just in terms of, like, scrolling, like, yeah, I would,
Mhm.
like, open Instagram and post and then close it again, but I wouldn't be like, scroll, scroll,
Scrolling.
scroll, scroll,
Yeah,
scroll, yeah. So I think that kinda broke me of that habit, which, I mean, not fully broke me, right? But, like, I've definitely noticed it's better.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, yeah, I'm glad it'll be fun to hear how that goes for you. I also think, like, during the summer when we spend more time by the pool,
Easier
it's
to
easier
read.
to read more.
No, yeah, when I was floating in the cowboy pool for 2 hours reading the Jennifer E. Smith book, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Man, this is so pleasant." And there's
yeah,
not a TV near me, thank God. I'm also
right.
even just
Yep.
trying to watch different stuff and not watch Gilmore Girls all the time, so,
I have noticed you've been doing that too. I've been
yeah.
watching more documentaries too. I watched the Astro World one, woof.
Was it good?
I mean, it
I'm
was good.
yeah, I
It
feel
was
nervous to pick it up, but
I cried a lot.
yeah.
It
On
was
that
very
note,
upsetting. Yeah. Anyway, we'll
we'll be
see
ba
y'all for, yay, Finders Keepers.
finders keepers,
Yay.
yay.